Hey, how you doing? How you doing? Hope you're having a good morning, afternoon, or night, whenever you're viewing this. So, I was looking for some terms that I wrote down that is associated with the video that I'm about to shoot. I'm shooting right now on what I am calling the American Zersetzung. And I couldn't find it. I was gonna delay it a little bit, but then the Lord showed up, and I just I wanted to say how it proves my point about the topic. Now, there's plenty of videos about what the term that we know about it. There's plenty of people talking about it because in the last 5 to 10 years, especially since maybe 2018, more and more people are going through it. And it's a term called gang stalking or organized group stalking or whatever. And, something happened right now, like this guy right here. It happens everywhere you go, anywhere you do business or that you frequent. Everybody's alerted to break you down psychologically. A lot of people that are more involved are organized, are affiliated with organized crime, human trafficking, members of certain political groups, even churches. Because they think that they're being told by the deep state that you are a dangerous person, and basically what happened right now was this guy right here. He skipped me in line. I'm homeless, and I have been coming here for several years. Whenever I'm running short on money, I don't have any money, I come here to get a meal. I'm very grateful that there's places like this that exist. But at the end of the day, I've been going through this since July 2022, and with all the things that are happening in our country, there's no doubt in my mind that I am on the good guy side, and I am one of the elect chosen ones. And just a little bit of information about synonymous terms that I use. I no longer use the term gang stalking. I no longer call them gang stalkers, right? But you might hear synonymous terms. You might hear other people call them bots. You might hear them call them NPCs, non-playable characters. Basically, like, if you ever play a video game like Grand Theft Auto or whatever, you are the character, and the rest of these people are just like, just bystanders. And the way that they go about their life to break you down is as a non-playable character that is meant to program you subconsciously. Okay, so let me get into the why I call it Zersetzung right now. All right. Now, this is the page that I was looking for. This is more or less what I was looking for before I started recording, and this is the tactics that the handlers and the controllers, or lack of a better term, the deep state that's using all their pawns. Just remember that all the people that come around you all day, every day, they're pawns. They're nobodies. Okay. But there's the 7 tactics that I call these the 7 layers of total absolute control. All right. Number 1 is intimidation. Number 2 is emotional abuse. Number 3 is coercion and threats. Number 4 is economic abuse. Number 5 is male privilege. For me, this on this website, Ascension Glossary, this is all of this stuff is very informative, very scientific and spiritual, but it's more or less is more affiliated with the New Age movement. So just a feminist type of thing or whatever. I prefer the term male domination. because reportedly 60-70% of the targeted individuals are women, but it's more or less because they might have dated somebody that's part of the security apparatus, or they might be affiliated through relationship through somebody who is powerful, and more or less they just want to control their life in any way they can. But for those of us that are chosen elect ones, is more or less different. It's more or less just a domination thing. Okay. So number 5 is isolation, and or number 6 is isolation. And 7 and final one is deny, blame, and minimize. Now, there's another time we're going to go through all 7 of these in depth, and but also keep in mind the whole male privilege thing or male domination thing. Okay, because when it comes to the reason why I say male privilege is more or less from the feminist standpoint is because if you are a white female, you got more privilege than brown or black people do. So like that's not even a thing. But when it comes to everybody, even a man, a male, I call it male domination, because it's all about ego. It's all about feeling like you're tougher, stronger, smarter, more intelligent. So people are always trying to one up each other, and especially when it comes to you, when it comes to the gaslighting that you experience. But from a woman's perspective, the whole male privilege or male domination thing, that is just inherent with the big 3 religions, whether it is Judaism, Christianity, or Islam. That's just inherent. That's what comes with the territory, which is the reason why I don't subscribe to fundamentalist religions. If I had to give myself a classification as to what I practice or what spiritual system I practice, what religion I practice, I would have to say that I'm a Kabbalist. Okay, people like me create religions. Okay, now I know that that's a sinister, it has a sinister association with right wingers who are fundamentalist, but more or less it just comes with the territory. We know where we are, and sometimes you have to play a double agent. So, Zersetzung, right? I had to sound that out because I don't speak German. All right, but this is a tactic that our American intelligence agencies have been using on American citizens pretty much for a long time. It probably started with the COINTEL program back in the late '60s when the FBI was spying on a lot of black organizations during the civil rights era. But that would explain why the perfection of these techniques was done in East Germany before the wall fell down. Because now we know that most of the civil rights movement was funded, backed, and coordinated by communists, and the Russians had they infiltrated a lot of these organizations and probably funded a lot of these organizations as well. But here you see Stasi psychological warfare techniques. Okay, Zersetzung, right? Zersetzung is German for decomposition and disruption. It was a psychological warfare technique used by the Ministry for State Security, or Stasi. Okay, now keep in mind that this is not the time to talk about conspiracy theories. I think we're past that term. The term conspiracy theorist was pretty much created after JFK was assassinated. And it started getting more momentum just to discredit people who have greater than average critical thinking skills. So now that we are, 22 years into the 21st century, we've reached the next level of civilization. I think that just discrediting people because they are telling the truth is being rooted out with what we're seeing all over the world with the current system that is breaking down. Okay, but keep in mind, there is a thing called Operation Paperclip, where a lot of the Nazi officers were brought here to America, and they were pretty much like the first people that started the CIA. And I'm pretty sure they got assumed names, different identities and stuff like that. But a lot of Nazis also went to South America, places like Argentina, Brazil, stuff like that. So if anybody tells you anybody disagrees with you that we are not in the Fourth Reich, they're lying to you. Okay. So right here, pretty much this is the reason why those of us elect chosen ones have been targeted by the deep state that is attempting to hold on to their power, but also to usher in a new level of totalitarian total control. And it describes everything. If you're going through it, and if you see any other videos on what I'm not going to call gang stalking anymore, this actually shows why those of us have been targeted. It serves to combat alleged and actual dissidents through covert means, using secret methods of abusive control and psychological manipulation to prevent anti-government activities. So Matthew 24:9 says, "Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake." Now, of course, all kinds of people can go through these tactics for any reason, and some people have parents that are connected to powerful people that have for lack of a better term, sacrifice them. Some people are just being targeted because they are actually subversive individuals, not evil, because evil, we live in a country where evil reigns and evil is celebrated. So it's not because they're evil, it's because they probably tell the truth, like myself. But me, I suspect that I'm going through this because I've been homeless for the last 6 or 7, well, since 2016 on and off. I suspect it's because I have all kinds of brilliant ideas on how to build our world economy when things fall down and finally collapse, which we are seeing the first stages of right now. Now keep in mind, while I'm shooting this video, if you hear a lot of background noise, because I am enjoying a nice, delicious meal. And I'm very, very, very grateful to the Lord to have a place like this. Because a meal like this, if we were to go to some restaurant and eat a full meal like this, it would probably cost us $20, $30 damn dollars. So, very, very grateful. And I want to keep that in mind, that while I am telling the truth and exposing the spiritual warfare that's now physicalizing, I'm going to be using sources from not only the Bible, but books that were left out of the Bible, such as the Book of Enoch, Greek mythology, Persian mythology, and other sources as well, such as movies in Hollywood. Like right now, off the top of my mind is one of the movies in the Fast and Furious series. But I want you to keep in mind, like right now, what I'm going through is like there's some asshole trying to project their voice towards me to break down and interrupt my thoughts, right? But that's very very it's very very relative to this next paragraph. Zersetzung methods were designed to break down, undermine, and paralyze people behind a facade of social normality and a form of silent suppression. See how it got quiet whenever I talk about this stuff? That's because they're demonically possessed. They're demonically possessed, and they're not listening to what I'm saying. They're not interested in what I'm saying. It's just the fact that, keep in mind that truth cannot be combated. But this last sentence right here, a facade of social normalcy and a form of silent repression, is the reason why other people have given these people terms such as non-playable characters. Okay. Now, for me personally, not everybody that participates in these campaigns are bad or evil, or they are against you. They're just part of organizations that they have taken oaths, and for me personally, I realized when I was going through this that this is what the Book of Enoch's called, or even in the Book of Daniel, they call watchers. Okay, there are good watchers and bad watchers. Now, of course, goes on to say the Stasi use operational psychology and its extensive network of between 170,000 and 500,000 informal collaborators. That's the term that I'm going to be using from now on, is informal collaborators. Because when you use a term like gang stalking, right? They have conditioned responses. What makes you think that I'm in a gang? Or how do you know people are following you? Like, they have conditioned responses that they're supposed to do, or they ignore you, which is the reason why other people call them non-playable characters. But I call them informal collaborators. Now, keep in mind, goes on right here, the use of Zersetzung is well documented due to Stasi files published after the Berlin Wall fell, with several thousands or up to 10,000 individuals estimated to have become victims. Now, I have no idea of knowing how many people here in America are going through it. But if you are somebody who is a whistleblower, you're probably going through it, that worked in the government or intelligence agency. If you are an up-and-coming person in economics or politics, you're probably somebody that's going through it. If you are a person who was in entertainment that isn't going along with the uber liberal far left agenda, you're probably going through it. If you're a Trump supporter and not irrational, believe everything that the government tells you. Like what I'm talking about is like when the left wing does something, the same thing that Trump did, like, and you still condemn and you still use your own, rational faculties, you're probably going through it. So there's no way of knowing how many targeted individuals, targeted victims are actually being targeted right now. There's no way of knowing, but I want to show you something right quick. So what I want to show you is tactics and methods employed under Zersetzung generally involved the disruption of the victim's private life or family life, which for me, when I was making some kind of income, I would go to Airbnb, and now I'm at a point where I can't even. They've removed my account. They've removed my account, and so now I get no privacy. Like right now, I'm around an informal collaborator who is just like, never mind. His energy is really fucked up and off. But anyway, This often included psychological attacks in the form of gaslighting. Other practices included property damage, sabotage of cars, purposely incorrect medical treatment, smear campaigns, including sending falsified, compromising photos or documents to the victim's family, denunciation, provocation, psychological warfare, subversion, wiretapping, and bugging. Now, I was looking for a part where I'm going to have to probably pull it up in another part of this video, that the files they had on people they targeted was up to like 61 miles long or something like that. Now, keep in mind, this is from the 70s to the wall fell down in 1988 and 1989, the year I was born. So that's 20 years of files they had. 20 years of files they had on people. Now, everything goes in the cloud. I believe that there's a underground, the NSA headquarters, there's like a supercomputer in Utah underground that's like 2 miles long or something like that. So now they don't have to wiretap. Your smartphone is the wiretap. Now they don't have to send falsified, compromising photos. Your camera is recording you at all times, even when it's off, even when you don't have a battery.
Everybody when it's off.
Okay. Battery.
Everybody when it's off.
Okay. Battery.
Everybody when it's off.
Okay. So the thing is that, like, this is one of the reasons why they locked up Edward Snowden and Julian Assange, because they were telling the American public what's coming. Okay, but what I'm going to do is show you why I haven't lost my mind yet, because now I see why people go on shooting sprees where 30 people get killed, because the people that are fucking with them constantly have driven them to this, to, you know, when they know they're gonna die, they're gonna take people with them. But for me, I'm gonna show you the spiritual warfare tactics, that has kept me sane, or actually being sane in this crazy lying ass world is really no compliment. But I'm going to show you the spiritual warfare tactics that I have been employing. So the reason when I see one of these informal collaborators staring at me, trying to intimidate me, trying to project their voices and trying to fuck with me all the time, I smile at them and laugh. And I since I feel energy. Since I feel energy and I know facial expressions, I've always been a keen observer of humans, right? That's the reason why I know that internally they are throwing a fit. They're throwing a fit because they're not getting to me. You see, for me personally, I practice the concept of a negative times a negative equals a positive, right? If you are trying to subvert my positivity and throw negativity at me, I'm going to get negative. But the positive, I'm going to be on the other end of the equal sign, which is positive. So that's why I want to show you this right here. I laugh. So here's a metaphysical meaning of Isaac. Okay, Isaac, in the Bible, the son of Abraham. Isaac means he laughs. He will laugh. Laughter, joy, singing, leaping. You see, divine sonship. Sorry if you hear a really loud person. That's like this gender fluid person that's nobody wants to criticize or talk about, so they tolerate it, right? But anyway, divine sonship. Isaac, meaning laughter, signifies the joy of the new birth and a new life in Christ, which is the spiritual consciousness of relationship to God the Father. Man rejoices greatly in his privilege of expressing as a son of God. So that's the reason why when somebody makes eye contact with me with a mean-looking face, I start laughing, and then they can't help but just pretend to get on the phone with their little handler on what to do next, or they talk to their friend, they talk shit about me. I don't care, because a mark is going on them. A mark is going on them that only God will decide what to do next. So remember the metaphysical meaning of Isaac. He laughs. He will laugh. Laughter, joy, singing. Right? First Chronicles 16:22 says, saying, touch not mine anointed, and do my prophets no harm. Verse 23, sing unto the Lord all the earth, show forth from day to day his salvation. You see, that's one of the reasons why, before I realized that those of us that are going through this are the elect chosen ones, that's why I realized that it's more than just laughing to keep from being enraged or sad, right? You see, when you see one of these wannabe hard ass people staring at you with a mean face, right? You want to get mad, but really what's happening is that science has proved that when you stare at something or you hold your attention on something for 17 to 20 seconds, you create an electromagnetic bond. Okay, you create an electromagnetic bond. So that's the reason why when you that would explain why when you get around certain types of people and you're around them for an extended period of time, you might be happy at 11 a.m. but once it's 1 p.m., okay, you are angry. You feel all kinds of feelings that you didn't feel, or probably not even natural to you. That's what decomposition and decay is. The word Zersetzung in German. Okay. So this is the reason why we are elect chosen ones, because when you do what they're doing to you, you stare at them and smile, they get mad. Okay? We wouldn't be elect chosen ones if every time somebody stared at us, we got mad and wanted to fight. Now, in the next video on this series, we're going to talk about this program and its agenda through the perspective of the Book of Enoch. In the Book of Enoch, but also in the Book of Daniel, they're called watchers. There are watchers that are in prison, or the fallen angels that were in prison in the second heaven, and the fallen angels that are in prison in the fifth heaven. The ones that we deal with on a daily basis, right? That want you to be afraid of them, or that want you to be go crazy and go psycho, or they want to prove that you're psycho. They're the watchers that were in prison in the second heaven. The ones that are watching us through security footage, through our smartphones at the NSA, listening to our conversations, monitoring our activities. Those are the watchers that are in the fifth heaven. And I'm going to show you this through the concept of the Book of Enoch, but also the 7 levels of consciousness. Okay, so in addition to what I'm not going to call gang stalkers anymore, they're called officially on this channel informal collaborators. Some synonymous terms you might hear me use are watchers, cockroach demons. Okay, the reason why it's cockroach demons is because you doing what you're doing, living your life, going about your day, and then you look up, there's 1, 2, 3 of them. And then 30 seconds later, a minute later, there's 5 or 6 of them, right? But also, a term that you might hear me talk about is Agent Smith ass motherfucker. Now, anybody's ever seen The Matrix? That's really kind of a coded, it's really kind of a code for us chosen elect ones. 20 years ago, myself included, nobody understood what The Matrix is all about. I'd say probably about 90% of humanity still doesn't, because it was a documentary that came out for us chosen elect ones. But what Agent Smith refers to is, well, first of all, that's a synonymous term for NPC, bot, watchers, informal collaborator, low vibrational entity, whatever you want to call them. But why Agent Smith? Smith is a Merovingian name, and again, it's 22, 23 years into the 21st century. We're past being smeared by just being called conspiracy theorists. So I think that every conspiracy theory that isn't outlandish, I'd say probably about 70% of conspiracy theories have been proven to be true. That wasn't, the rest of them are just disinformation. But Merovingian is one of the 13 bloodlines of the Illuminati. And that is the bloodline through which the Antichrist will come through. So those of us and our guardian angels that have been in Hollywood and academia, that have been giving us messages and signals and codes, they let us know that the enemy is Satan, okay? And everybody that comes around us, the whole world, they are working for the devil, okay? So in the future videos, just on that subject alone with the Matrix, we'll talk about how Christ, when he comes, he will separate the sheep on the right from the goats on the left. That's a political code for us, and then also just our journey that we all have to go through if we're going to be the ones who usher the earth into a new golden age of higher consciousness. Because if we fail and we leave the future of the earth into their hands, oh man, oh my God, we're fucked. All right, have a good one.